Okay, perfect. We're live, and hello and welcome to another episode of Brain 10. We're on episode 106, and today we are going to talk about 10 plus ways to provide great customer service using social media. We've all seen it. We've all seen the good and the bad of social media. A lot of news articles that talk about a lot of the bad, actually. And we're going to explore a little bit and go a little bit more in depth and see what you can do as a company to provide great customer service using social media. My name is Christian.
My name is Aaron.
And my name is Franklin.
Sorry, guys. This is Aaron. This is Franklin. I had it locked in on mine. We should be good now. All right, so let's get started here. Number one, time is of the essence, especially on social media. Social media is moving 100 miles per hour, and you need to resolve these things pretty quickly. But I think more importantly than just resolving them pretty quickly is to really at least acknowledge that person or that certain comment rather quickly. I think Facebook gives you a timeline that you need to answer messages on your Facebook page, and that's 15 minutes. And even that, it's maybe a little bit too late for some other social media networks. But as a good rule of thumb, I guess Facebook will give you right there 15 minutes in order for you to be considered very responsive to your messages on your Facebook page. So when we say time is of the essence, is to make sure that you're at least acknowledging these people rather quickly. If you need to set up some automatic responses and do so, it's definitely not super duper recommended to do a lot of copy and paste when you're dealing with customers, but at least you want to acknowledge them and make sure that you're on it and that you know that they've commented or they posted something and that you're working on a solution for them.
Yes. And I think ours is like 10 minutes right now as far as response time, but it's saying it's very responsive, but even after 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later, now the green button really attracts people as far as being able to respond. They're like, this company actually talks to us. Mm-hmm. So that's huge. All right. Number two is to go above and beyond. What Christian was saying is like to talk to them online and make sure that you're quick about it. But going above and beyond with customer service, I wanted to at least give an example to maybe spark an idea. There was a steak company that was in a local city, and the guy was tweeting that he was about to get off of the plane or about to go onto a plane, and he's landing at this time at this airport, and he's like, hey, this is my favorite steakhouse. You guys should be at the airport with a steak. Just kind of kidding around. They could have just said they favorited it, or they could have retweeted it, or even said like, haha, that's funny. Like, we'll see you afterwards. But this company actually got the steak that he wanted. He told him what type of steak. They got the steak. They met him at the airport and gave him that steak. So that's above and beyond customer service there. But it was great for this company because the guy posted a picture, had a pretty good following, and then this story went viral. So this, I think I remember the name of the company, it was like a Milton's or something, steakhouse, and it went viral. So they got great exposure for it. So it could work out really beneficial for you that way too.
Whoa. That I think that's a really good way to like order a steak too.
Yeah.
Right.
Next time I go anywhere on an airplane, I'm saying, hey, I'm going to try it out and see how that works.
Yeah, I think the key is that it needs to be somewhere like not a Jimmy John's or a Chipotle. It needs to be like a real, a good local mom and pop kind of shop for them to do that.
I like that in my DJ Khaled voice. All right. Okay, so I guess it's my turn. And I will say my idea, and I've actually experienced this and also done this in the past in my customer service, with my customer service background, and it's to offer the alternative. There's nothing worse than being actually told that there's nothing else that can be done for whatever issue or whatever problem that you're having with your product or your service. Whenever you want to resolve an issue, there may not be anything that you can particularly do for that particular situation. But to ease the situation, you should always go with honey versus vinegar, meaning that you should just offer an alternative to what the issue is. So let's say, perfect example is, say I'm sorry, sir, but there's no way that we can deliver a hamburger to you from McDonald's. I'm sorry, McDonald's, we just do not deliver. But what I can do for you is I can send you an email with coupons for the next 10 months where you can get a Big Mac meal at a 50% discount. That's an alternative to ease the situation. You don't want to just leave it there, leave the customer upset. Offer them something to ease the situation whenever there's nowhere else to go. When you hit a brick wall, turn around and try to find an alternative way to get around it.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. You need to be flexible. And this goes back to my Pizza Hut days when you would offer an angry customer something and they were not happy with it. So I would have to figure out something else to do in order to make them happy and not lose them as a customer. Because I mean, you're losing them as a customer, and then they're going out and telling their friends of their bad experience, or going to social media and, you know, expressing their frustration. And if you don't do the right thing, you might not only just lose one customer, but lose a bunch.
They say that, and this was before social media, they said that the number was you not only lose that customer, but 10 other people, because that customer will tell at least 2 to 3 of their other friends, and those 2 to 3 other friends will tell at least one other person. So it goes 2 levels. So on average, you lose 10 potential customers.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's before social media.
Exactly. Yeah. I agree 100% with that. Especially, yeah, now with social media, everything just, at least some of the bad ones go viral, and that's when you better have a good PR team.
Right.
All right. So number 4, I have here, be where your customers are. So I think if you are a company that's new to social media and you're still trying to figure out a little bit of everything and where people are talking about you, just start, you know, with your basic social media networks, you know, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, maybe, and start doing searches, and even Google, start doing searches on, you know, your brand. So if we are BitBranding, we would search BitBranding and see what pops up, see where people are talking about BitBranding, and do the same thing on Facebook, do the same thing on Instagram, look for those hashtags and see if there's anyone who's talking about your brand. Obviously, they can leave comments on Google, not comments, but reviews on Google and Facebook and all these other networks, Yelp, Yellow Pages and all that. So you need to be paying attention to where your customers are at, because you want to be able to voice your own opinion and actually address these people, whether it's good or bad, actually. So a good way to do that is to, you know, just search for your name, search for your brand, and figure out where people are talking about. Where are they talking? What social network or what medium are they using to talk about your brand? And you might find some good stuff, you might find some bad stuff. But the point here is to never let your brand be run by your customers. So don't let your customers talk about your brand and just leave it at that, and whatever they say goes, because a lot of times people will say very mean things and not even realize, you know, the effect that takes on a company.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that is a problem. Some people are like, hey, we have such good, you know, reviews and stuff. They have no idea when something actually does like go bad and have a bad experience, and it just sits there.
Mm-hmm.
All right. My next one, number 5 in our list of 10 plus, is asking for feedback. Social media is a great way to ask for feedback on a product or a service. The bad part about this is that, you know, you're going to get some real results. People are going to say, hey, I didn't like your product, or I didn't like the way you did this. Well, it will help you to know those things. It's better to ask for that feedback and be responsive. I think us as consumers will like to see that. I think this is probably a tip somebody's going to use later, but it helps you understand the brand and say that, hey, they're human, and it really will be able to make a better product because you got feedback, and you are leaving yourself vulnerable to that. So I think getting feedback from people, because they're a lot more likely to tell you on Facebook that they feel how they feel about a product than rather in person.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That is absolutely the truth. And that actually is a good segue into what I'm about to say, which is don't take it personal. Just like Aaron said, that the people, your customers, are more than likely going to be extremely honest with you when they're behind their keyboards. So what's the term that they use? They call it keyboard confidence. Keyboard confidence. Whenever like they start to say things because they're behind the keyboard, you can't see them, but at the same time, while they're actually honestly voicing their or typing out their frustration with your product, then you should definitely not take it personal and remove yourself personally from what they're saying, because they're not ragging on you or giving horrible feedback on you as a person, or giving constructive criticism of you as a person. They're talking specifically about your brand, your product, or your service. So in order to grow your business from this potential viral issue with your company, you should definitely not take it serious. You should take it serious, but not take it personal. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Let me clean that up. Take it serious, but don't take it serious, but don't take it personal.
Okay, I was like, well, I think they should probably take it serious, but there we go. No, that makes.
I had to catch myself.
There you go.
I had to catch myself.
No, yeah, that's very true. So number 7 here, I have to make sure to humanize your brand. People tend to favor dealing with other people instead of robots or brands or companies. So you see a lot of bigger companies doing this, and it actually helps them to track who has been talking to what customer. So you see this a lot on Twitter. So you see a bigger company like, let's say, Taco Bell or Pizza Hut, and a lot of people complain about their food all the time. That's like, if you go to Taco Bell's or Pizza Hut's Twitter account right now, you'll see just a bunch of nasty comments and like, oh, my pizza was late, this and this, this and this. And Pizza Hut, I mean, they have to respond to all these people. So they do that, but they have multiple people responding to them. So in order to figure out who's responding to who, so they add their names at the end of each response. So they can say like, oh, we're very sorry about this. Let me put you in contact with our store in, Frisco, Texas, for example. And then they'll put Dash Christian. So they know they're actually talking to someone. It's not just Taco Bell Corporation, and it's not this big scary account or brand. It's actually, a person behind that. And it helps a little bit with how people treat you, and also helps internally as a company to figure out who's talking to who. Obviously, we don't do this right now, and maybe we should if we ever get a bad response. But as far as anything good, I don't think it's completely necessary. But I know Facebook, for example, tells you like who commented. Even though it's BitBranding, if we look internally in our business manager, it actually tells you like, oh, this comment was by Christian or Aaron or Franklin.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a good rule to make sure that you do that in order to humanize your brand.
Right. And I think, as we grow or something like that, it definitely would be good to know like who it's from, like, especially if it's like, Franklin's mom for some reason like shared a post and she was like, hey, so proud of these guys. He wants to acknowledge that it's not just from BitBranding, but like, thanks mom or whatever, right. Franklin.
Yeah.
It's just an example, but definitely, because they don't know who's talking for what. But if it's general stuff, absolutely don't need to necessarily, I don't think, put your name out there, but we could, something to experiment.
Mm-hmm.
All right, number 8.
Love it.
You want some more of it? Is that what you said?
No, I said I love it. I love it.
You want some more of it. That's the name of the song, right?
No. I think so. I don't know. Is it?
I don't know. Anyway, I forgot, guys, just so you know, if you're watching this far into it, we do have a special guest. His name is Mr. Rogers. He's right there.
Oh my God.
Obviously, I threw him off. I didn't know. I didn't tell him beforehand that we were going to give a shout out to him. I just figured that, we just let people know we have a celebrity on the show.
Yeah, I'm tanned a little bit, don't you want to just say?
Yeah.
Oh my.
All right. Anyway, let's move on here to number 8, care and honesty. So this kind of, I think it works together with a few of these, which is the part where Franklin was saying, don't take it personal, but be serious about it. And then to humanize the brand, it kind of combines both of those, but you should care about something and you should really be honest about it. So if there's a problem and you know that there's a problem, being sympathetic or empathetic to them and telling them like, hey, we messed up. We really do care. And it's kind of hard with social media to respond and actually show that you care. But luckily there are emojis and there are certain ways to do text. I would encourage you to use those. If you say something and then there is an emoji that describes it, use that, because it helps show that you actually do care and that you're being honest about it. So customers understand that, and I feel like it does humanize you a little bit, and it does show that you care about them as well.
Completely and totally agree, sir. I really do. And they're all my neighbors. Yes. Where's Christian?
He's there.
Right.
Okay. Your photo just looks like it's just being still with a really like Joker-esque smile on your face. Okay. So I'll go on to number 9, and it's follow up. After any experience with any customer on social media, you'll have their tag, you'll have their @ you'll have any handle to get in contact with them again. So my advice would be to follow up with them. Even after you resolve the issue, up with them to make sure that there aren't any continuous problems, whether it be via email that you gathered while you were talking to them, or whether it's directly back on the same platform. You should definitely follow up with them, especially the ones that are happy customers that you resolve their issues. Because the moment that you touch back with them to make sure that they're still happy, they're going to go and tell a friend, like they were saying earlier, whenever they had a horrible experience. But whenever you ensure that their experience is still being a great experience, they're going to go tell more people, like, hey, they continue to call me back, make sure that everything was good, and continue to make sure that my service or my product was still working properly. And definitely follow up with the ones that you weren't able to solve their issue, to make sure that, not make sure, but to see if there is anything else that you can do to try to resolve that issue ongoing. So yeah, just follow up.
I like it. I like it a lot. And again, relating back to Pizza Hut, when I used to work there, that helps a lot. And and I would do this very rarely, but people who we had maybe had problems multiple times, I would call them, out of the blue and say like, hey, you haven't maybe used your coupons. And I was wondering if today was a good day for you to use those coupons or order some pizza today. And it looks like Aaron's gone.
That's weird.
I don't know. He kind of waved. We'll keep going. But yeah, absolutely. Follow up it's a huge component of that. Number 10, I have here you need to be able to basically determine when to take an issue offline. So, and a lot of the bigger accounts do this by saying, hey, contact us at, Pizza Hut cares at pizzahut.com. So they give them an email for them to contact, and you're not technically taking it offline, but you're taking it off social media. which is something important. If it's something really bad, you may not want that back and forth of the customer and you, having all that interaction online for everyone to see. So it's very good to take that offline, or maybe to email, or maybe even a conference call if you guys are, set on different states. But if it's something that you can take care of online, go ahead and do it if it's something quick. But if it's something more extensive, then you definitely need to take that off of social media and be able to, take care of it offline. We say offline, but it's really off social media for everyone to see. But you still want to make sure that people who look at those bad comments, that you're responding and you're taking care of the situation, not just, hey,
Right.
email me here and we'll take care of it. Like, make sure that they know that this issue has been resolved.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
The one of the best examples of that I've experienced is AT&T. If I've ever had any issue with my cell phone service, or when I had whenever I had Uverse, if I said that I was having any problems with it, they would not respond to me in the Twitter. They would send me a direct message. They would basically say, they'd at me and say, hey, send us a direct message and we will get back to you. I send them a direct message and they talk to me a little bit in DMs, and then they say, okay, look, we can't solve this issue through direct messenger, so give us a call at this number and this extension. Like, it's they make sure that I don't continue to talk bad about their service whenever it continues to drop calls or anything like that.
Yeah, very smart. Because I've had the same thing, and I think I was livid about a few things before, and luckily, they calmed me down and I didn't keep talking about it, so it works. All right, number 11, and our final one for today is kind of a piggyback of my previous one, which is, after you've gotten the feedback, making sure that you go back and tell people that you've gathered the results from the feedback, you've implemented those changes, and that really could be a good selling point for you to tell you, hey, our new products and services have these changes. We took what you guys had into consideration, and we've now implemented them. When you do that, it not only says that their voice is heard, but you're providing a more quality product, and you may actually get some sales because of it.
Yeah, I agree, absolutely. I think even if you have the same issue with multiple clients and it's something that you're working on, even do a blog post and talk about how, you saw the comments online, we've heard you guys, and we've implemented this, and this to fix those issues, and then send them personal messages to those people who had issues, and send them the blog post and say, like, hey, this is what we've been working on, check it out, blah blah blah. And yeah, that's a great way to provide great customer service.
Yes.
Okay, so I think that does it for this week. That was good, short, sweet, to the point. I think a lot of good information in there. So if you're a small company and you need help with customer service online on social media, then definitely check this episode because it's awesome. Again, this was Brain 10 episode 106. My name is Christian.
My name is Aaron.
And my name is Franklin
Rogers.
Franklin Rogers. All right, so we will see you on Friday, where we have our 10 new tech products and services that we talk every week, every Friday. So come join us. We have some good stuff to talk about already. Yeah, make sure to subscribe too. Subscribe so you don't miss any of these shows.